I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test part 448 while doing standing leg gymnastics. And if you participate in the standing leg gymnastics, that's it. We are starting with the first exercise. That's the moderator, feet are standing together, and we're going with the weight to the balls of the feet and back to the heels. Now we have no religious conflicts here. It's actually a bit longer. So we're going to name it a little bit different. Short overview of King Henry VIII's reignship. And the idea is, we had learned it already, but we are learning it now in a way that in 7-8 minutes, I'm able to tell it all in another video. So in just one short video, 1 minute, I'm going to explain it all in one shot. We're trying to learn now for that video. Okay, the next exercise, one leg in front, one leg in front. So we should say something about with King Henry VIII continued the policy of centralizing power. We have to short and say what centralizing power is. King Henry VIII reduced, like his predecessor, is that the correct term? Reduced, like his predecessors, the power of the nobles and centralized the power of the administration in England. Most famous is he for breaking away of the Roman Catholic Church or Church of Rome and for marrying 6 times but changing the leg. Did I explain the exercise? We are going in front, the heel comes up of the leg behind, we're going back with the toes up and look a bit down, be a bit concentrated and don't look too much, not that you get motion sickness. He wanted to divorce his first wife, her name Catherine of Aragon. Do we tell the reason here? Is this important for that video? Not really, I think, for this video. If it would be, because he wanted a male heir and Catherine of Aragon couldn't get any more children, and with her he had only a girl, her name Mary. So that would be, if I go in this corner, I'd have to explain it. So, and the Pope refused to the divorcement. Next exercise, the legs at the outside, and we're going from one leg to the other one. So, King Henry VIII broke terms, broke off, did we use? Breaking away, broke off, I think it's all okay. And established the Church of England. And in that church, he had the power to appoint bishops and to order how it would be worshipped, how worshipping would have to be done, how the worshipping have to be, because it would be something very different. What's the word? Differently, not difficulty to explain for me, to formulate a sentence, so I need to have 2 or 3 formulations. And also to tell the people how we should have to worship, how worshipping should have to be done. It's pretty complex to explain. It's just said and not true. It's not part of normal sentence structure. Next exercise, one leg in front, and we're going with weight onto the leg in front. We don't really have to. No. We said we're not going to do religious conflicts. We're going to do a little overview of Henry VIII. So with the Reformation, we don't really have to talk about that. It doesn't really fit in our context here. Why should we talk about he had the right to worship and now the Reformation happened? We could do it like we did it with stained glass and so on, and the language. Let's add that. At the same time, let's use the same formulation here. The Reformation happened in Europe. There was great unsatisfaction. What did we use? There was a movement against the authority of a pope, and all the practices and ideas of the Roman Catholic Church. These Reformators, these Protestants, wanted to read the Bible in their own language instead of in Latin, not to pray to saints on altars that I don't know how it's pronounced, still not. And we believe that a person's own relationship with God is more important than to submit to the church. And these Protestant ideas gradually gained strength in England, Wales, and Scotland during the 16th century. It's, people won't understand why I tell it that way. Last exercise. No, not last one. We have one more. So just have the feet same together and go in front as far as you can, and then again back. In that video, if we're going to make it just about Henry VIII, even if you include something about the Reformation, we cannot really do something about Edward. But we could say it as a little bonus. Also, strength in England, Wales, and Scotland, so all except Ireland. In England, Wales, and Scotland. In Ireland, it tends to impose this Protestantism, but that's successful. And it leads to rebellion and brutal fighting. But through an act of government, Wales was united with England. I'm doing the wrong exercises. So now calf raises, just up and again down. Maybe this is too much. Maybe we're gonna have to do it in the next part also. But we have to say it all. It became formally united, Wales. Welsh representatives were sent to the House of Commons and the Welsh legal system was reformed. We're not going to ask that in the test. How would we? Maybe for the act for the government of Wales, when this would happen during the reign of King Henry VIII. And also during the reign of King Henry VIII, through an act of government, Wales was, included, formally united with England, and representatives of Wales were sent to England, to the Parliament, to the House of Commons, and also the legal system in Wales was reformed. Now after that, I'm doing again the wrong exercise. Okay, we're doing the wrong exercise. The back leg is with the heel on the ground and the leaning a bit in front, just stretching calf stretches. By his son, Edward VI. And he was strongly Protestant. He, for example, now he has not written what he did. Wait a second. During the reign of Edward VI, a book with the name, the Book of Common Prayers, was introduced to the Church of England, which is, in a different version, still used today. Or a version of this. And we're done with standing leg gymnastics. And he was won again for the throne by Mary, the second child of King Henry VIII. She was a Catholic and she persecuted Protestants, which gave her the nickname Bloody Mary. Mary also reigned only shortly, and then the third child, or the half-sister of Mary, Elizabeth. It goes on even here. So maybe we're going to split it. We're going to do one to King Henry VIII, or we're going to do a complete one, and an actually religious conflict. In England would it be mostly. Became King Elizabeth. And she was a Protestant, and she re-established the Church of England, and people had to attend the local church, and there were laws about the type of religious service and the prayers. And there was also said what religious services and how prayer should be done. I think you could say that today. But it was not asked what the people were really believing. So Elizabeth succeeded in finding a middle way balance between the views of Catholics and the Protestants, and that avoided serious conflict in England. Elizabeth then became one of the most popular monarchs, and that was particularly after the defeat. What is it called? The defeat? I'm going to use the term now. After the defeat. After the defeat. After the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588, they had been sent out by Spain to restore Catholicism in England. And I think we could do it. Now, do we try it? We have time left and you can just do it in the next part if it's too much. I think we're actually going to try it. We could split it up and do just Edward or Elizabeth. But let's actually try to do it completely, and then let's look if it's not way too much. So, I have the first camera running and we have the second one. Not running, but where is the second one? I'm going to start it now. And the idea is we're going to actually try to film a second video, which will be then published about religious conflict in England in the 16th century. Not so. Why do I start with now with King Henry VIII centralized power? And restricted, was it bad? Yes, reduced, restricted. Okay, let's try it. I don't know how we can come with this. Pretty complex. I could say when it was, in 59. When King Henry VIII in 1509 came on the throne in England, he continued the policy of his predecessors. It must be predecessor, successor and predecessor. When King Henry VIII in 1509 came onto the throne in England, he continued the policy of his predecessor, Henry VII, and that was that he continued to centralize power to the administration in London and to reduce the power of the nobility. Now, King Henry VIII is mostly famous for two things: that he had 6 wives and that he broke away of the Roman Catholic Church and founded the Church of England. Now, he wanted to divorce his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, because he wanted a male heir and he had only a child with her, which was a girl. So he wanted to divorce her, and he needed the approval of the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church to do so. The Pope wasn't giving him that approval, and so he broke off with the Roman Catholic Church and founded the Church of England, and he was the leader of the Church of England now, and he could say who becomes the bishop and also how the people had to worship. During the time in Europe, there was a Reformation going on, and many people were not satisfied with the Pope and the ideas and practices of the Roman Catholic Church. The Protestants, they wanted to read the Bible in their own language. They did not want to pray to saints or at altars, and it was more important to them their personal relationship with God than to submit to a church. Protestantism gained a lot of followers in England, Scotland and Wales, not so much in Ireland. The English tried to introduce Protestantistic ideas in Ireland. There was a lot of rebellion and a lot of fighting. Now, after King Henry VIII, his first child, now, it is a little bit of a problem. Now we're having 2 problems. The first problem is and I have to make that really clear to have going to the next part. I will continue, but I think we're pretty good in it. But when his first child, his second successor, his first successor came to the throne, his third child. Okay, I have to think then at that point what I'm going to say, and who's who. And then I can go on, when I name it, 2 or 3 things. these bridges to the next part. These segues. Now, my second problem is that I have only 20 seconds left, so I don't have time for a second try. We will try it in the next part. We will have time for 3-4 tries, depending on how early I mess up. So we will continue to do it directly in the next part. I thank you very much, and until next time.